Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Alyswoof Plays Red Alarm Germany. And Red Alarm is right, guys. Last time, Spain erupted into civil war. Now, we're caught between like a rock and a hard place here because on one hand, it was a nationalist overthrow of their government. But on the other hand, the Republican government is being propped up by communists. Here's the inherent problem we're going to face. We're supposed to be the bulwark against communism. But communism has snuck around us and is currently entrenched in Spain. We are going to give Spain the benefit of the doubt, and we will let the Spanish people fight for what they know in their hearts is the right course of action for their country. Because it's not just communists who are fighting against the nationalists. I mean, look at this overwhelming nationalist ideology. But over here, we do have good, legitimate Democrats. So I am pursuing, I've got Kurt Schumacher, a member of the government, helping me out to ensure that we do not get involved in that war. We will let them decide their fate for themselves. In the meantime, what are we going to do? We are going to work on some construction research. Events will be timing out. Yes, we need our MIFO bills. We need to continue our policy of building Germany up to be a great nation once again. We have halted the creation of these large nationalist-focused armies, and we have gotten our soldiers to be maybe not the largest army, but the most equipped and the most trained armies we could possibly have. We have also gotten our navies under Admirals what's-his-face and what's-his-face? Karl Dönitz is in charge of the submarine fleet, and Admiral Erich Raeder is in charge of our primary fleet. And we've got them training the troops by patrolling the Baltic and the North Sea here. And we've got plane crews now doing their own little thing, sort of just like enjoying what's going on. So that kind of lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that? Germany is militarist, but not too militarist. A democratic opposition is forming. Whoops, I wanted that back. I wanted to read that. My bad, guys. Here it is. Relaxing the restrictions on what sort of anti-NSDAP propaganda can be spread publicly has predictably led to an increase in public expressions of dissent. Organized demonstrations and pamphlets are so far found mostly in academic institutions and some of the German Reich's more unfortunate areas, but there is little doubt that the movement is spreading. The nation's leaders are torn over the issue. Our Austrian leader, who maintains an iron grip on party leadership, has little desire to diversify public debate. The first steps have already been taken, however, and there may be no turning back. So the Democrats are going to gain more power because the movement appears to grow naturally in the absence of repression. We have a nice strong grow of the Zentrum party, but you know what? It's not enough. Because we don't want to be quashed, right? Our chancellor is ruthless, so we have to ensure that we stay on his good side. To that effect, even though we are a democratic society, we are still the bulwark against communism, so we must crack down on communist elements in our nation for the sake of long-term domestic stability. Their influence is too great and may potentially become a problem to the government. We're going to start raiding, hi Kitty, we're going to start raiding these communist party locations because communism is bad, okay? especially here in Central Europe. The Civil War in Spain is kind of hit and miss, right? Like, there are some obvious little breakouts of the nationalist forces, and they've conquered the I can't even think of their names, the Basque region, right? And now they're making inroads into the Catalan region. And if these troops are not careful, they are going to get cut off, surrounded, and crushed, just like the Basque troops were. But they are holding on to the central lands of Castile, and hopefully they will be able to overthrow this coup d'etat that's happened. I mean, we may be nationalists, but we don't overthrow our governments, do we? That's something to think about. Have we overthrown our government before? Is that where? No. We elected this chancellor of ours. He may be from Austria, but he is German, so we give him the benefit of the doubt. But we are still doubting his intentions. In the meantime, pretty much just sitting on some research. Do I have enough? Do we have enough? We do not. If we had enough light tanks, I would consider getting another Panzer division running. Yeah, we need 240 of those. I guess we can go ahead and start training them. I essentially, the way I want it is I want to have 4 heavy Panzer divisions, 4 hard divisions to join all this infantry so that they can assist in frontline work, right? I do not profess to be like a master of this game. I don't know what the ideal military combat statistics are other than, hey, you want to be 20 wide. I know that a lot of people favor having line artillery. I do not, mainly because there is a policy. I prefer having guns solve the problem, which means using more artillery on the line as support rather than on the line. Now you can do on the line artillery, but I'm a huge fan of support artillery because I think it adds more, honestly. Like, regular artillery can bust down the walls. Support artillery makes sure that your infantry lives, right? And that you're not overwhelmed too easily. So, that's my philosophy on it. You can agree or disagree. Do we have our first oil factory out? Because if we have our first oil factory out, you know what that means. Yes, we do. We can now become less dependent on foreign oil. A problem that has plagued many. And we can become less dependent on foreign rubber. And less dependent on foreign tungsten. Just for the time being. Decisions are available, huh? Well, we're still raiding the communists. We are going to quash the communists. But we are going to hopefully replace them with our democratic ideals of the Zentrum Party. One can hope, right? Promises of peace, anti-democratic raids. We're doing our best to make sure that this Austrian man does not raid our party, raid our Democratic Party, because that would be terrible. That would be the worst. In the meantime, I kinda want to shift over to this. How many vehicles do we have? We've got 977. It is time to ensure that our soldiers never have to worry too much again about whether they will live or die, because we are going to get them field hospital units. Our trickleback will increase by 20%. That's the proportion of losses in combat that can be saved and returned to the manpower pool. So 20% of our losses will be returned to combat. That's a lot better than 0. Our supply usage does go up, and our weight does go up, and our organization goes down by a bit. But our HP goes up, and we lose a lot less experience. Our piercing goes down a bit, our motorized, our support equipment, and our manpower requirements go up. But I think this is well worth the cost. Can I fit another infantry? I can fit it. It is 20. We're going to do it. Coal liquidization. What's this? Leadership purges in the Soviet Union. Uncertainty has long reigned in the Soviet Union. While details are scarce, there has been a series of secret trials at the highest level, and both generals and ministers have disappeared from the public eye. The natural assumption is that some great conspiracy has been uncovered within the Communist Party, but no official statement has been made. In addition, the diplomatic reports we have access to indicate that evidence presented at these trials has been far from indisputable. Whatever has been happening, the structure of the Soviet High Command has changed irrevocably. Oh, this is evidence of the corruption inherent in communism. I told you guys. I told you it'd be a problem. Keep this there. Save. Alright, guys. We're just going to have to deal with this whole problem next time.